Let's talk about electricity. You think you understand it, right? I mean, you use it every second. Your phone, your lights, your entire world runs on it. So let me ask you something. Explain it. What actually happens when you flip a switch? Where does that power come from? What is electricity, really? Most people say it's energy. Electrons moving, current in a wire. But here's the problem. Those answers don't explain anything. They just rename the mystery. Why are electrons moving? What's pushing them? And how does that pushing suddenly turn into light, heat, motion? Here's the truth. Electricity is far stranger than you've ever been told. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let me show you something. Take a strip of plastic, rub it between your hands. Now hold it near your arm. Don't touch. Just bring it close. Feel that. Your arm hairs move. They stand up, reaching toward the plastic. Stop. Think about what just happened. You rub plastic. That's it. No battery. No wires, no power source. And now it's pulling on your body through empty space. How? In your everyday world, forces need contact. You push something, you touch it, you lift something, you touch it. But this is force without contact acting across nothing, and you call it static electricity and move on. That's not a trick. That's one of the fundamental forces of the universe. Here's where it gets insane. When you rub that plastic, you move a tiny number of electrons onto it. Just a tiny imbalance. But those electrons repel each other with unimaginable force. Take just 2 electrons, place them 1 centimeter apart. The electromagnetic force between them is 10 times stronger than gravity. That's a 1 followed by 42 zeros. At that scale, gravity is basically nothing. Meaning this, the world you live in is not held together by gravity, it's held together by electromagnetism. So now ask yourself, if these forces are that powerful, why doesn't everything explode? Why doesn't matter tear itself apart? The answer feels almost like magic, perfect balance. Every atom contains positive charges and negative charges. They cancel each other out almost perfectly. So all that insane force is hidden. But here's the catch. Even the smallest imbalance breaks that balance, and suddenly you can feel it. That's what you experience with the plastic. Now let's go deeper. Pick up a cup, feels solid, right? Wrong, you're not feeling solid matter. You're feeling electromagnetic repulsion. The electrons in your hand are pushing against the electrons in the cup. They refuse to overlap. That's why your hand stops. Not because you touched it, but because the forces push back, which means you have never touched anything in your entire life. Not one. Every time you think you're touching something, you're feeling forces acting across empty space. Now let's talk about wires. You flip a switch and the light turns on instantly. So what's happening? Most people imagine electricity flowing like water, electrons entering one end of the wire and traveling to the other. That's wrong. Electrons move incredibly slowly, about 1 millimeter per second. At that speed, it would take minutes to cross your house. But your light turns on instantly. So what's really happening? The wire is already full of electrons. When you flip the switch, you push on the electrons at one end. They push the next one, which push the next ones like a chain reaction. The push travels almost at the speed of light. Not because electrons are moving fast, but because the force itself spreads instantly through the system. Now zoom out. That push doesn't start in your house, it starts miles away. At a power plant, a massive turbine is spinning. Water, steam, wind, something is turning it. That motion interacts with magnetic fields, and that pushes electrons. Electricity and magnetism are not separate. They are the same force, 2 sides of one system. Spin a magnet near a wire, you get electricity. Push electricity through a wire, you get motion, generator, motor. Same principle, reversed. And here's the part that should completely change how you see reality. Everything you experience, touch, pressure, heat, light, is electromagnetic. Chemistry, electromagnetic, biology. Electromagnetic, your thoughts, signals carried by moving charges. Your entire world is built on this one force. And here's the deepest truth. You can't explain it using anything simpler, because everything else is made from it. So what is electricity? It's not a thing. It's not a substance. It's what we call it when we control this force. But more importantly, it's proof of something bigger. The world is not what it seems. It looks solid, mechanical, predictable. But underneath, it's fields, forces, invisible interactions across space. When you flip a switch, you're not just turning on a light. You're triggering a chain of events that stretches for miles. You're commanding forces that operate at the speed of light. You're manipulating the same interactions that hold atoms together. And somehow, humans figured this out. We learned to control it. We built an entire civilization on top of it. So next time you turn on a light, remember this. You're not using electricity, you're bending reality itself. That's what electricity really is.